Okay, guys, so we are now back, okay? It's really loud. There's cars. Yeah. Well, we're back playing Katawa Shoujo, and I said I want to try to complete Lily's path today, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Yeah, but today is Christmas. Yes. Um Today is Christmas. This video is not being posted on Christmas. It's being posted 2 days after Christmas. But either way, just today's Christmas. So Merry Christmas. And we're gonna try doing this. 6 more choices. Don't know how long that's gonna take. So yeah, let's just see. Bored of standing in place and watching the television in a shop window, I pull myself away from the tacky display with little effort. After living at Yamaku, the city seems like an entirely different world. No running in the halls, calm and orderly conduct is to be used at all times in the classrooms. Students are to exit rooms after checking both directions for oncomers. Elevators are reserved for impaired students. Single file on stairs. Compared to such strict, almost regimental standards, the city's shopping arcade might as well be a strange country. While the school may have its fair share of hustle and bustle during the festival, and the outside world is much different. It's strange having lived in a metropolitan city before my accident. This should feel more natural than Yamaku and the surrounding town ever could. Yet it feels foreign somehow. The elevated walkways and tall buildings, each adorned with billboards taller than any 3 people. I don't do anything to distract. Then any 3 people don't do anything to distract me from the passing crowd's reactions. Okay. Lily keeps one hand on my shoulder, the other holding her cane, which taps the ground with a metronome-like steadiness. Looking over to her, that neutral smile of hers still holds. Having only seen her in a school uniform, I'd not have recognized her as she sat on the bench waiting for me to come, if not for her cane propped up against it and her distinctive hair. I can't tell whether they're glancing at her due to her height, her foreign looks, her obvious blindness, or all 3. Not that any of those would make the situation any less uncomfortable than it is. Do you have any ideas of where to look first, Hisao? Her soft voice breaks me out of my line of thought. I can't imagine that she's failing to notice the attention she garners, but she seems unfazed by it. I get the feeling she's the type to enjoy walking outside, so she might be used to it by now. Not really. This is my first time in the city, so I've got no idea where to go. She furrows her brow in thought, planning a route for us to take, and comes to think of it a way to communicate it. Something I'd noticed in the time I've been with her is how when deep in thought she lacks close to any form of body language to show it. Her expression may change, but not a hint of movement shows. She seems to have little in the way of sweeping physical gestures in general thought, so I've assumed it's part of her reserved nature. Is there a large electronics store near here? I take a quick look around, mostly finding clothing stores. After a few seconds, I notice a store with a bright blue sign some distance away that fits her description. Yup, it's just a bit ahead of us. Should we go in that direction? Thankfully, it's just the information she needs. With a nod, we start off and head towards Lily's unknown destination, landmarks being our guide. Ooh, there's ice cream. Here you go, one vanilla, one chocolate. I hand the money over the counter and take the cones to the railing that Lily's sitting on. I can't believe I let her trick me like this. She not only led me to an ice cream stall, but also got me to buy her some. At least she gave me the money for hers. Sure enough, she's patiently waiting where I'd left her. I guess she was planning on making the day an event, rather than a simple shopping trip. I call out to her and slowly place the vanilla cone in her hand, or in her outstretched hands, being careful to make sure she has a good hold of it before letting go. At least her tastes are fairly normal. I was worried she'd ask for some weird flavor when she first asked. Here's the change. It's okay, keep it. I moved to protest, but realized the futility of doing so over such a small amount. I slipped the coin into my pocket, supplementing my meager allowance ever so slightly. Lily shows no sign of wanting to get up, so I take a seat beside her and start eating my own ice cream. The summer weather's nice. Hopefully it will hold out for a while. Yeah, it is cold. It's cold. So, yeah, it's not summer, it's winter. Okay, whatever. You too, I'm beginning to think I'm the only person who prefers winter. Yeah, I don't like winter. I contemplate her statement for a long moment. Yeah, I think you might be. It draws an intended reaction. She's cute when she's pouting. Still, I can't really imagine what's so good about winter. You can't go without bundling up, and you still freeze anyway. I used to live further north, where there'd be plenty of snow to play in, so it's a little nostalgic. I don't like the heat very much, either. At least you can wear a skirt, so don't complain about that. She gives an amusing giggle as we both get back to finishing off our already melted cones. Okay. I idly sit and watch the crowds going by as we eat, catching bits and pieces of conversation. Looking to Lily, I see her dutifully licking her ice cream from the top downwards, blissfully unaware of the fact that it's beginning to melt. It's melting. Where? Down a bit. She lowers her mouth from the top of the cone, but has no idea of exactly where the ice cream's dripping. What follows is a game of guiding her left and right until she finally finds it. To an onlooker, it must seem absolutely bizarre. A girl with her eyes closed, turning her cone over and over as the guy next to her gives instructions. A strange variant of childhood blindfold game, maybe. Okay. In good time, we finally finish our treats, and while away the time conversing casually. Okay. Mid-sentence, Lily perks her head in her trademark manner. It's an unmistakable sign that something caught her attention. Ah, what is it? Is Akari somewhere over there? I think I heard her. What? I raise an eyebrow as I look in the direction she's facing, somewhat doubtful of her ability to pick out Akari's lone voice in the din. Sure enough, though, a blonde girl in a suit can be seen through the tiny gaps between people walking every which way. I raise a hand and wave, trying to catch her attention. Sato! Hey, Sato! She stops in her tracks and looks towards me, evidently noticing my call. As she does, I notice someone walking beside her. I can't get a good look at whoever it is, though, before the two begin walking towards where we are. As they reach us, Lily and I stand and dust over ourselves. Dust over, whatever. Akiri! Hey, you two. Hey, you two. Okay. It's a woman. Okay. She nods towards me, a gesture which I quickly return. My gaze shifts towards the young girl next to her, and our eyes meet. As they do, Akiri plops a hand onto her head, a move which doesn't seem to faze her. I don't believe we've met. I'm Hideaki. Pleased to meet you, Isao. A guy's name, huh? Guess I just dodged a bullet there. He bows somewhat, restrained by Akiri's hand being on his head. Damn, bro, I see how it is. It's not a woman. Oh, Hideki's here, too? Are you well? Akiri's been taking very good care of me, thank you. Akiri grins as if to affirm the point and rubs his head hard, dragging it around in a circular motion. His dreary face during this is somewhat amusing. Uncle's out on business again, so I'm just taking him around town for today. I'd have preferred to be spending the day on a date with my boyfriend, but Hideaki gives a cough to try and redirect Akiri's thought. As he does so, though, I find mine wandering. They're related? Further as first cousins. I suppose that explains why she's taking care of him in any case. Come to think of it, Hideaki, how did you know my name? Akiri told me. Being a Yamaku student, I suppose you're disabled in some way. Not everyone in Yamaku's disabled, which I only learned a handful of days ago. I gave silent thank yous to Shizune and Misha for their stream of information about how the school works. Because of them, I found out that since the school will accept practically anybody suffering from non-mental disabilities, it doesn't discriminate against healthy people either. It seems unlikely that many in good health would enroll there, though. While the standard of education is pretty high, it's extremely isolated and very much focused on helping disabled students. You're dodging the question. Damn, he's sharp. Before I can say another word, he decides to take a stab at it himself. If I were to call it myself, your heart? It's a psychic, bro. Akiri looks mildly curious at me. Her interest peaks as well. That sure was a lucky guess. How did you know? You show no missing limbs or deformities, so external disabilities are out. Considering the lack of any strange mannerisms, it's also unlikely that you have any mental disabilities. But Yamaku doesn't take mental disability students. I know. Leaving that aside, the only possibility left is that of internal disabilities. I didn't know which one you might bear, so I guessed correctly, as it turns out, and your reaction confirmed my guess. More than a little bemused, I look to Akiri. She grins and shrugs, obviously taking some enjoyment out of her partner's deductions. He's sharp, yes, but more than a little sympathetic, logical, but lacking in tactic. His attitude reminds me of Shizune in a way, as do his looks. Wait, what? I think I know what's going on here. May I ask you why you're staring at me? Surely I'm not that unusual a specimen. Does he not know how unusual he looks? I could overlook the spat and clothing as just being coincidental, but the ribbon in his hair really is too much. This is entirely besides the point, though. Sorry, you just reminded me of someone. Akari gives him a sharp jab with her elbow. Told ya, you're not that much different from her. I knew it. He coughs into his hand and try and maintain an upright and serious demeanor. I see you've met my sister then. Perhaps my full name might help you. I am Hideko Hakamichi. You're probably thinking of my sister, Shizune Hakamichi. Yes, I was right. So he's Shizune's brother. Wait a minute, if Hideko is the son of Akari's uncle and Shizune is his sister, then that means Lilly and Shizune's fathers are brothers-in-law. Therefore, dun dun, Lilly and Shizune are first cousins. Lilly groans in an uncharacteristically unrestrained manner. The reaction earns an amused smirk from her sister. The amenity between the two just took on another meaning. I had thought it simply a matter of difficulty of communication between the two, but a family feud makes things much more complicated. You can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. She gives a half-hearted shrug. She mustn't give as much weight to the two's conflict as I do. Well, that's how it is. What are you two up to anyway on this fine day? We're shopping for Hanako's birthday present. The day will be coming up soon, so this is the last chance we'll have before school starts again for the week. Akari makes a strange face as if Lilly had just said that the sky wasn't blue and the clouds not white. Isn't her birthday on the 10th next month? Yes, why? Is something wrong? Akari's face seems to collapse. It's an utterly unbefitting expression for someone rowdy and headstrong. The folks didn't call you yet. As Lilly shakes her head cluelessly, I look at Hideko to see if he knows anything about this. A simple shrug in his own is the only answer. For a moment, Akari ponders what to do before smiling once again. The fact that she can hide her emotions so quickly and effectively is unsettling. Hey Shorty, sorry, but could you hang with Hisao for a while? He nods and waves her off. Akari places an arm on Lily's shoulder as she guides her away and out of earshot. And so, I'm alone with Shorty. So, nice weather, isn't it? It seems so. I guess they dumped us. Indeed. Oh, what a partial attempt at small talk. I've got no idea of how to talk to this guy, and his robotic responses aren't helping. Blood and a stone come to mind. Without another word, he begins to rock on his feet in an obvious gesture of boredom. With his discussion, he really is like a little kid, despite his serious demeanor. Suspecting the conversation over, I decide to accomplish what I came here to do in the first place. I'm going to go search for a present. Coming? Not much else to do. Okay. We're here. In a little while, we come to a small shop. Besides a convenience store. For once, the store windows aren't filled with electronics and computer games, but dolls, stuffed bears, and all manner of wood-crafted oddities. Othello's Antiques. An antique store. Well, if there's anything in this town that suit Hanako, I guess it'd be here. I reach for the old-looking door handle, but pull back at the last minute as I realize my companion's gone adrift. Not coming? I'll just be in the newsstand for a while. News stand for a while. Don't mind me. His voice makes it painfully clear he has zero interest in what's in the store, and that he doesn't feel obligated to follow me. As he wanders off without another word, I push the thick wooden door and enter the store. A bell above me rings out. The musty smell of old books and wooden shelves is distinctively anachronistic. I look to the counter beside the door. The graving man behind it sits there silently, reading a tattered book. He certainly fits the look of the place. Slowly wandering through the aisles, the person I'm reminded of as I expect each handcrafted or important oddity in turn isn't Hanako. Crouching down, I examine the ancient oak desks inside the shop window. At least 30 dolls, all varying widely in size and make. The only similarity between them is the long Victorian dresses they wear. I turn the price tag of one that looks to be about waist height. It's not in my price bracket at all. I do the same for each of them, getting more and more depressed as they get smaller and smaller in size. That is, until I reach the very smallest one. It's affordable, just yet of quality make, and with long auburn hair and a little blue dress. I decide that it's the kind of present Hanako would appreciate, pretty looking and far from gaudy. After I carefully pick it up, I decide to keep looking around the store. I'm not sure whether it's because I like the atmosphere or out of simple curiosity. Peeking around the corner before I go to the next aisle, I see the shelves, and in this one are stocked with wooden toys, from toy cars to intricate automatons. A box. Tucked behind a line of nutcrackers, I notice a little plain wooden box. It feels surprisingly light as I pick it up with my free hand. Oh, the lid only needs the smallest movement to pop open, the little metal drum inside beginning to rotate immediately. For a second on end, I simply stand there, listening to the palm-sized melody. As it plays, I take the tiny price tag in my fingers and bring it up to my face, and the minuscule cursive writing taking some effort to read. It's affordable, sort of. Grimacing slightly, I close the lid and make my way to the counter with doll and music box in hand. When I lay the two on the counter, the man behind it sits up and takes stock of them. He doesn't hide very well his surprise at someone of my age buying them. It's painful, but I hand over the money for the two and leave the store with a small, opaque bag in hand. Hideaki being there takes me by surprise. Oh, hi, I thought you'd be at the newsstand. Akiri gave me a call. She's waiting for us at the fountain with Lilly. At least that solves the issue of trying to find them again. We head off back to the fountain. Hideaki's emasculate posture, emasculate posture and presentation, despite his appearance, makes for a strange contrast even as we walk. Lilly and Akari stand there waiting for us, their face hard to read. Hey, you ready to go, shorty? Hideaki's mood seems to improve as he rejoins her. See ya, Lilly, Hisao. Tell Hanako I said happy birthday. We will. Bye. Goodbye, Akari. Okay. And with that, the two disappear into the of the afternoon city crowd. Turning to Lilly, I notice she's carrying a small bag. It's now that I realize why this position felt different from before. While Lilly typically the type to wear her emotions on her sleeve, her expression and tone are clouded and difficult to read. It's more than a little off-putting, but given the effort she makes to hide her emotions, I doubt she wants to be cornered on why she's feeling this way. I already bought Hanako a present. Yes, I have. Have you? Okay, I cannot read. Okay, yeah. Shall we head back to the bus stop then? Okay, there should be a bus back to Yamako pretty soon. And with that, we begin to walk. It feels strange compared to before. Lily's hand on my forearm feels unusually tense, and the whole atmosphere is extraordinarily awkward. The silence continues for a while. I really don't like seeing her like this. Hanako's birthday party is going to have to be held earlier. Is the 4th going to be alright for you? I have no other possible obligations anyway, so I reflexively nod. Only afterward do I remember that doing so is pointless, and quickly answering so by speech. She tries to collect herself, a task that looks almost pitiable in how plain it is to see how distant her thoughts are. Sorry, Isao, you said the bus would be coming soon, right? That's right. But now that she says that, I have an idea. Actually, do you have anything to do later today? I don't believe so. Why do you ask? This is the point where I'd normally take your hand and rush you somewhere, but even without that, you'll have to trust me, okay? I take her hand and gently lead her on, her distant face replaced by one of mild surprise and curiosity. Where are we going? Okay, a cafe or something? I don't know. As the waitress sets the cup of tea and cup of coffee that I'd ordered onto the table, I thank her before she takes her leave. Truth be told, I really lucked out in finding this cafe. I didn't really know where I was going. Rather, I was just looking for any cafe that looked relatively nice. Having managed to recover a little, Lily tentatively sips at her cup as I take a long gulp of my coffee in front of me. I'm getting... I wish I had water. As I hoped, her face lights up as she realizes what flavor it is. Ah, this is wonderful. Hisao, how did you know this was... I'd asked for French vanilla black tea, hedging my bets that it would be her favorite flavor, or at least one she liked. While I don't really know much about tea, it sounded like one she might appreciate. On the basis of her liking vanilla ice cream, a tea connoisseur, I am definitely not. It was a lucky guess. You really like tea, don't you? She puts her teacup down and gives a tiny nod. That familiar small smile thankfully perched on her face once again. Drinking tea is calming, I think. With the amount you drink, are you sure you're not addicted to it? Caffeine addiction's pretty common nowadays. Did I ever say I wasn't? She let out a giggle and my head drops. My head drops. We all have our vices. I suppose, and there are worse things to be addicted to. French vanilla black tea, huh? I'll have to remember that. Yeah. For a while, we both silently drink. It's comforting. It's comforting to have someone like her nearby in such new surroundings. Even if it's just the two of us sitting in silence. I begin to wonder if this feeling is the same for her, until she sets down her cup. Hisao, do you mind if I ask you a slightly odd question? That depends on the question, I guess. I was wondering what your favorite color is. Everyone has one after all. I almost replied before realizing why the seemingly mundane question is actually quite strange. My favorite color, but she gives a pouting look, wanting me to answer anyway. While the answer seems unavoidably wasted on her, there isn't any harm in giving it. I've always had a thing for green. I'd say that's my favorite color. I kind of knew that already, even though you never really said it, but I just, your text is green, so I just linked you with green. Green is it? What things do you think of when contemplating that color? I suppose grass, fields, and trees in summer. The army as well, with camouflage. Men always seem to like the military. I don't. But that sounds like a nice color, a very nice color. I don't like green, I think it's ugly. She nods her head a little, as if approving of the choice, considering how foreign the contempt of color is to her mind. Labeling it by association seems reasonable enough. If everyone has a favorite color, then what's yours? White. I'm told that that's the color of snow and of ice cream. You know better than me then, if you only like that color because of your favorite food. I guess white is nice too, though. And speaking of colors, it'll be getting dark soon. Let me help you up. Lilly offers her hand, which I take in mine, to help lever her up. From her seat at the table, its softness compared to mine takes me off guard, as I'm really not used to such casual contact. It doesn't seem to be bothering her at all, though. While it seems obvious why, it feels like just one more ladylike aspect to her. As her hand moves to her pocket, I quickly cut her off. Don't worry, I'll pay for this. Oh, thank you, Hisao. She gives an earnest smile at the gesture, or a reward much greater than that of her words. Okay. By the time we step off the bus, it's well and truly dark. We make our way up to the hill in silence, both of us behaving a little awkwardly, probably because of the day's events. While I'm still concerned over Lilly's withdrawn nature, after meeting with her sister, the fact I managed to cheer her up even slightly feels like a personal victory. But it feels like the air between us has changed. Maybe it's only a bit, but it's something I don't think either of us realized before. That was a date, wasn't it? It was. That doesn't elude either of us. The question's answer being so self-evident as to be rhetorical. I cannot read. Awkward as it may be, I don't think this feeling is bad. In fact, quite the opposite. I don't know what it is. I certainly can't be sure, but it feels like something a little more than friendship. Understanding empathy, searching for words to adequately describe it is difficult. Nonetheless, would you like to do this again sometime, Lilly? Without shopping for presents. The question is met with the same look from Lilly as before. Her pale skin makes the rosy tint of her cheeks just slightly more noticeable, and her face, though still pointing to the street ahead of her, lowers just a little. Okay. Nice. Okay. Still no choices. Okay, still no choices. This game is longer than I walk down the hall of the girls' dormitory, my school bag in hand. Why? Hanako. A doll lies inside, carefully placed on top of a small box. I've been carrying the box in there for a while now. Still not sure of what to do with it. The whole situation, come to think of it, is bizarre. Well, I've known of Hanako's upcoming birthday party for a while now. I had no idea of exactly what the celebrations would be until I found a single note left in the abandoned tea room earlier today. I hold it up and read it again, double checking the instructions. The plain black handwriting, fairly legible despite Lily's blindness, clearly thanks to considerable effort and care. Hisao, we'll be holding a party at my place. Please come at 6 o'clock to room 225 in the girls' dormitory. Sorry for notifying you this way, but I have class representative duties. Lilly Sato. Okay. Not reassured, I continue walking down the hallway until I reach Lily's dormitory room. I hesitate for a second, but eventually give 3 sharp taps on the door. A brief and muffled exchange of words can be heard from the other side. Listening closer, I can just pick out Hanako and Lily's voices. As they finish, Lily calls out, "Might that be Hisao?" "Yep, I got the note you left for me." "You can come in, the door's unlocked." Glad that I managed to get the right room, I press down the handle and let myself in. As the door swings open, my greeting to them is stolen from my mouth. Yo. Okay, let me hide this. Okay. Hey, yo, why your bed looks better than mine? It's blue. How dare you, Hana or Lily, because this is Lily's room. But still, her bed is blue. Mine is an ugly color, I believe. But either way, there's a teacup, a teapot, Hanako, Lily, and yeah, okay. Lily sits at a low table in the center of the room in her pajamas, while on the other side sits Hanako in a nightgown. Being dressed in only my normal school clothes, I feel quite out of place. I steal a quick glance at the lovely sight of the two, my eyes tearing themselves from Lily's long, thin and pale legs, only with a measure of reluctance. Hi, I think I brought everything that was needed. She smiles and nods. I wonder if she's even aware of the pleasant sight she makes. The thin, dark blue silk of her pajamas that looks black, but whatever, really suits her, accentuating both her eyes and her curves. Okay. The look of her face last night, that tentative and almost shy demeanor, seems all but replaced by her coy nature. It's nice to see her confidence return, though I can't help but casting my mind back to see how she looks back then. How she looked back then. I look to Hanako, who nervously sits opposed to her in her gown. It isn't a surprise that she'd wear something so conservative, though it definitely looks cute. Okay. Hi, Hanako. Happy birthday. Thank you. She's unusually skittish, despite the fact that she's warmed up to me considerably over the weeks. We've come to know each other. This is pretty unusual. This is a pretty unusual situation, I guess. Feel free to take a seat, Hisao. I'll just pour you two some tea. Sure thing. Lily takes the steaming red teapot from the side of the table and gently pours it contents into our teacups. As I take a seat beside them, setting my bag against the nearby wall. Okay, there's contradictions now, okay? The lighting and the bed covers were different. This still kind of looks blue, but it was way more blue in the other picture. Lily takes without my senses returning, the hormones somewhat calmer. I realize that this is the first time I've ever been in Lily's room. The first thing I notice is the ambient smell, just slightly different from that in mine. Probably faint perfume or nail polish. It could be anything of a girl's, really. Another is the plain nature of the room visually. Beige walls, a smart yet unadorned cabinet, the lack of posters or wall hangings. It's distinctly something I should have anticipated, given her blindness. The only thing that really seems out of the ordinary is several piles of books sitting on the floor. Each each reaching from a rough knee-high height to waist height. Some of them have printed titles. Others are entirely blank, except for dots of braille. The fact that the ones with printed titles are uniformly in English is interesting, though not completely unexpected. She did mention her parents impressing the language upon her and Akari after all. Your room looks nice, Lily. I hear a call of thanks from beside my shoulder. Looking back to Hanako, her gaze is fixed on her lap and her hands are nervously clutching her gown. It's now that I notice why. With these clothes on, the extent of her scarring is far more visible, reaching down her neck and out to cover her right shoulder. Considering this is a party for her, she doesn't really look like she's enjoying the experience now that I'm here. So, how old are you turning? 18? Her look of surprise, not at all helped by her total lack of skill at hiding her feelings, shows that she was trying to mentally tune me out. This is really quite awkward. Well, she's technically not 18 yet. We're celebrating this on the 4th, right? That's what she said. Her birthday's on the 10th. Yes. On the plus side, there's only 2 more years till you can drink. So who's older, you or Lily? Lily, she had her birthday in February. What about yours? Earlier this year, so it's already passed. Unstated is that it passed while I was stuck in the hospital. That was a particularly low point of the experience. A conversation with her dries up as quickly as expected. It isn't long before Lily's finished preparing our drinks, setting down the 3 teacups in front of us. I picked mine up immediately, noticing a much stronger aroma and taste than the tea we've been having. It tastes different than the tea we have in school. It's a different variety rather than the kind we've been having there. You've never tasted orange japur before? Not that I can remember. I usually drink coffee after all. Like when we were in town. This is nice though. As we settle down and sip, Hanako seems to be more relaxed, or at least a bit less tense about my presence. We all finish our cups at about the same time, with Hanako failing rather badly at hiding her anticipation for the cake that's sitting to the side, begging to be eaten. Come to think of it, I'm feeling very eager myself. First things first, though. Lily? Yes, now it's good. Each of us knowing exactly what the other means, I lean sideways and dig around in my bag for the doll I bought Hanako as Lily gets up and retrieves her gift. Hiding our gifts in our hands, we present them both on the table at the same time. Happy birthday, whatever. Happy birthday, whatever, Lily. Hanako, okay. Hanako silently sits looking at them for seconds on end, out of sheer surprise. My little wooden doll, replete with Victorian-era dress and little hat, lies next to a light brown and fluffy stuffed bear from Lily. She clutches her gown and she moves to speak, not taking her eyes off the modest presents. Thank you, Lily and Hisao. Yo, hold up. Hide this. Not gonna lie, Hanako looks like Hanako. It could be, okay, so, Hanako looks a lot like freaking, what's her face? Damn it. No.
I'm gonna go hunt for food. You want to come?
Huh?
I'm gonna go hunt for food. You want to come?
Why are you hunting for food? Hanako looks like, damn it, what's her name? I cannot remember. Sadako, there we go. Sadako. The well, Sadako, whatever. From the ring, Sadako. Her voice begins to crack as Lilly reaches forward, wrapping her in a soft embrace. The sight of Hanako holding Lilly so tightly is heartwarming. So much so that I couldn't wipe the smile off my face, even if I wanted to. As Lilly gently rests her face on Hanako's head, she speaks so quietly and softly that I can barely hear. Happy birthday, Hanako. Happy birthday. Hanako gives a small nod. I'm holding on to Lilly for a time before breaking off and wiping an eye. I guess that for Hanako, simply having anyone, to be there and love her would be special. The fact that Lilly and I can now share that role for her is something that I think I will always be grateful for. Another one. There's so many CGs now. 3 CGs. I don't know how I'm gonna fit all 3 in the thumbnail, so I'm gonna have to choose. Yeah. Okay. Hanako gently takes the doll and teddy bear, holding them both to her chest as she warmly smiles. For a long time, all 3 of us simply sit in happy silence. The quiet is not broken until Lilly's soft voice beckons. Shall we have at the cake then? Her proposal is met with 2 looks of unhidden anticipation. No arguments from me. Okay. Phew, that was good. I contentedly sit back, both Lilly and Hanako looking just as satisfied with the food as I. It took some effort, but we managed to finish off the cake in one go. I don't think I could fit any more in. I think next time I'll buy a smaller cake. Hanako and I give a chuckle, but I can't help notice that come this time next year, we'll have graduated from Yamaku. That fact is somewhat depressing since I finally feel if my life is starting to get back into some kind of order. Idly looking around Lily's neat and orderly room, her books catch my eye once again. This may be a little impetuous, but my curiosity gets the better of me. Besides, I don't think she'll mind in any case. Hey Lilly, do you mind if I take a look at one of your books? You're quite welcome to, Hisao. That said, if you can overcome 2 language barriers, I will be quite impressed. 2 Braille and alright English. She gives a nod. I knew you were studying English, but I'm still amazed that you're this proficient at it. One could say it's a perfect way to avoid people borrowing my collection. She says it in jest, but I'm a little disappointed. Having all these books around me with no way of reading them feels like one big tease. Hanako giggles quietly as I reach over the closest pile, plucking the topmost books with only a curious glance. Death on the Nile. In large letters on the cover is only printed text to be seen. Okay. Braille. Look at all that Braille. I sit down for a while with the book open on my lap as Lilly and Hanako talk. Try as I imagine to feel out the dots of Braille printed on each page, they seem to blend into one another and become indistinct. I thought this to be a lot easier than it actually is. With some practice, though, I could see someone with a better sense of touch than mine managing to read at a pretty fast speed. Noticing a silence that had probably begun earlier, I look up from the dotted pages to see Lilly smiling at Hanako, sipping another cup of tea. Is something wrong? Quite the opposite. Your curiosity is quite endearing. I am inordinately pleased by the praise, though I can feel my cheeks heating up a little. Thanks, but I don't know how else I could act. To be honest, I wasn't altogether sure of how you saw us since you were a new transfer student from another school. If you'd pitied us, I would have been quite offended. Okay, so I think I know how these choices work. The choices happen, all of the choices that happen in here are the exact same choices that happen, I think. Well, it's only what I'm thinking, okay? I don't really know. But I'm just thinking that these choices appear for every other choice that you have to make for all the other routes. So the reason why choices aren't appearing is because I'm hanging out with Lilly, and I wouldn't hang out with Lilly if I would have chosen another route. So I don't know. We'll see. Cause I don't know. That's just my guess. There's a certain edge to Lily's voice, one that I'd quite possibly place as pride. Glancing over to Hanako, she seems even more subtle than usual, looking towards Lilly rather than me. I wouldn't worry about that. Considering the position I found myself in, I'm perhaps the last person that should be dispending pity on others. My parents' first interaction with me after my heart attack, I wouldn't want anyone to see that kind of face. I catch myself from going any further, but not soon enough. Both of the girls seem to be put off, Lilly especially. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have gone that far. An awkward silence reigns for a few beats. Thankfully, ended as Lily's head perks up in a gesture I've come to easily recognize. Hear something? The door. Everyone looks towards it, trusting in Lily's sense. True enough, the door handle shudders and turns, a flash of yellow and black slipping through. Yo, why are you here? Akari Sato is in the house. Happy birthday, Hanako! Thank you. Akari takes a seat at the table as she plops her tall bag beside her. She has her trademark boisterous air about her, making no small deal of her entrance. Hanako clutches her gown to steady herself, but doesn't appear too shaken after she settles down. I guess she must have met Akari before. Not a huge surprise given how close Akari and Lilly are. Akari doesn't seem to be the least bit put off by Hanako's scarring, despite its prominence, but she also doesn't pull any punches in how she acts despite Hanako's shy nature. I thought you said you'd have to work, Akari. Did you manage to get off for a while? Kinda. I feel bad about ditching the guys doing overtime, so I gotta get back soon. But I feel bad about not coming to your cute little Hanako's birthday too. So for now, I'm here. She grins widely at Hanako, who flowers into a full blush as she pins her eyes downward towards her lap. Her mouth seems to widen and retract over and over, as if she was trying to suppress a smile out of embarrassment. It's a little strange how her reaction seems to be more immediate and forceful than when she's embarrassed by the way she looks. All she manages to give in a return is a tiny nod, failing to hide her appreciation to any great extent. Not that many people her positive attention. What? Not that many people give her positive attention. I suppose it makes me respect how well Akari can handle her, making her so happy compared to what little I can do. Now then, before I go, she reaches into the bag beside her and grandly displays its contents. I'll come with 2 large glass bottles with both with long French names on the labels. What is this? Hanako's expression is an odd mix of surprise and curiosity, and I suspect mine's no different. Lily's not seeing the proceedings. It is oblivious to what's going on. Akari, this isn't. What is it? Wine. 1 red, 1 white. Akari, that's. Relax. It's not like Shizune's here to scold you. Lily has a point that's not exactly allowed on campus. Or anywhere, really. We're still short of the legal drinking age, remember? Rich words for someone practically drooling at his as he examines a bottle. She got me there. I am genuinely interested in trying some. Even just a little. While Hanako may not be handling one herself, her look does tell me that she's far from opposed to the notion as well. Lily rubs her forehead, giving up the fight that she knows Akari would win due to simply not caring enough about those funny rules and regulations. Just don't breathe a word of this to anyone in the school, please, I beg of you. I'm not stupid, don't worry. That said, I gotta get back to work pretty soon. So soon? But you just arrived. Sorry, Lily. Good to see you two again, though, and you too, Isao. See you later, then. Goodbye, Akari. She, levers herself up with a grunt and waltzes out of the room, leaving us alone with the 2 items on the table. Interesting. Lily gives a nervous giggle at her sister's antics as Hanako takes a wine bottle. So, what do you think, Lily? She rests her elbow on the table and pinches the bridge of her nose, thinking things through. She really doesn't seem to be able to keep up with her sister. Well, it's already here. We may as well have some. No sooner does she say it, that I take a quick glance around the room for glasses. A small groan above me reminds me that Lily retired to rest on her bed for a bit a few minutes ago. Almost completely drained of energy, I managed to stand up and drag myself to the side of the bed, sitting down and leaning my back against it. Good God. Lily groan sounds lifeless. Too much to drink? My head hurts. Yeah, too much to drink. I rest my head back and idly stare at the ceiling. What an I don't know. Like proper idiots, we all drank the night away, with 1 glass after another. Hanako simply fell to the side asleep, and it's a miracle I don't feel as ill as Lily. Hey, Hisao, I'm sorry about today. I didn't think this would happen. It's fine, Lily. To tell the truth, I had a lot of fun today. Really? I think Hanako did too. No, she certainly did. There's a short silence before another groan resounds from Lily and Supine. I don't know. You okay? As he said, I just drank too much. What's the time? The time, I quickly look at my wristwatch. It's numerals barely legible in the gloom. About midnight? Curfew's in effect, then. Yeah, guess as much. We'll all have to sleep here for tonight. As soon as I say it, I hear the sheets moving as Lily starts to sit up. Hanako? No. Go back to sleep. Don't try to get up. Hisao, I have to. You're in worse shape than me by any stretch. Get some rest. But what about... I'll grab some spare blankets and put them over her, don't worry. As I give a deep yawn and stand to retrieve them, I hear her lie back down with a soft thud. Thank you, Hisao. No problem. It's the least I can do. You look outright wasted. I'm not wasted, just a little bit tired. She starts pouting, a slight slur beginning to distort her words as the alcohol takes hold of her again. I grab a couple of blankets rolled up at the end of her bed, quietly walking over to Hanako. I carefully lay the blankets over her peaceful sleeping figure, making sure not to wake her up. The thick smell of alcohol coming off her breath makes me doubt she'd wake up no matter what I did, though. I stand and take one last measure of the room. Two girls, both very drunk, the one guy sleeping overnight with them in the female student's dorm. What a scandal that'd be if it broke out. As I move to sit back down at the side of the bed, I steal one last glance at Lilly. Her sprawling, disheveled figure lies resting peacefully, slightly turning to the left. I crouch down to get a better look. Ah, another CG! Okay. I don't know which ones I'll be using. That's like 4 already, right? Her white skin blends in with the white pillow of the bed. A look of slumber-born peacefulness on her face. Usually she seems so confident and forward, always there and caring for Hanako. Now, though, she seems painfully delicate. I think back to Hanako's presence. I thought it'd be a nice occasion for her, but I'd hardly expected it to be so moving. One birthday after another, year after year. Just she and Lilly all alone. I guess it wasn't just the presents she liked. Resigning myself to an uncomfortable sleep, I sit down at the side of the bed once again and rest my tired arms beside me. Hisao? Lily's voice is so quiet I can barely hear it. She must have been on the verge of sleep. Yeah? Thank you. Thank you for what? For being here. That's okay. As I hear a deep breath, it's obvious Lily's gone to sleep. After closing my eyes, it doesn't take long for slumber to take me as well. Our eyes closed. Hisao? Hisao, are you... The soft, barely audible voice lingering in my ears slowly wakes me. I wish I could be awoken like this more often. With a mumble, I slowly open my eye. Whoa! Taken by surprise at the face hovering curiously mere millimeters from mine, I make our heads collide with a hard thud. The impact of our foreheads caused both of us to fall backwards and yelp in pain, Lily sounding more like a squeak toy than a person. Ow, 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 ow! I slowly rub my forehead with one hand, supporting myself with the other. Lily lies a few feet ahead, doing the same, her face, obviously, pained. Sorry. Your face was kind of close and I acted on reflex. You okay? My head. It seems she's not actually okay. Come to think of it, I doubt that's the impact alone is what's causing her head so much pain. Hangover? He drank a far bit last night. She silently nods in confirmation as I lever myself up. I offer a hand to her and help her back onto her feet. Glancing behind her, I find that Hanako is still fast asleep. It's not fair. I only drank as much as you did. I didn't do that. That's very different from what I remember. And anyway, girls have a lower tolerance than men. That doesn't help. Fine, I'll get you a glass of water. Just be careful not to trip over Hanako. I rub the sleep out of my eyes, or at least some of it. As I walk to the counter, tending to someone with a hangover isn't the way I like to spend the morning. It only takes a few seconds for the glass to fill, and the clear water reflecting. What the heck? What the fuck was that? Hold up. It sounded like it came from my Chromebook, but I don't know how it would have came from my Chromebook because my Chromebook is closed. So I don't know. That was weird. There was music. I don't know where that music came from. Whatever. Okay. It looks like Lily's taking a seat on the side of the bed. I walk over to her while taking care to step over the peacefully sleeping Hanako and place the glass onto her outstretched hand. Thank you. No problem. I take a seat next to her, then the soft bed having a surprising amount of give. She drinks slowly and a long silence passed with only Hanako's soft breathing to be heard. With some measure of guilt, I look at Lily's face and attempt to read her expression. Her brow is furrowed, and she looks to be lost in thought. For a moment, I hesitate, but eventually place a hand on her shoulder in an attempt to reassure her. I didn't expect her to flinch rather noticeably at that, though. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Lily quickly shakes her head in a manner somewhat more violent than usual for her. She takes a long breath to steady herself before letting her head sink. I must look terrible right now. I moved to protest, but quickly realized that it would be futile to do so. That said, I want her to open up more. If you want to talk about anything, I'm here. Lily gives a self-deprecating snort, as if to mock her own emotions. There's just a lot happening right now. I'm sorry for being so strange recently, especially back when we were in town. Even now, I'm a bit confused about everything. Believe me, I know how that feels. She smiles wistfully, resting a cheek on the back of her fingers. We're a couple of broken young fools, aren't we? What? Come on, don't say that. Come on, don't say that. Come graduation, we'll be back out into the real world. The real world. Sometimes I surprise myself with the way I think about things. I guess the strange, divorced feelings of Yamaku, and the surrounding town compared to the outside world still hasn't become natural. Maybe I never will. It's strange in hindsight, being isolated from society. Like this doesn't feel as bad as it probably should. A weary grin on her face, Lily seems to share the same sense of amusement at the idea. Eventually, though, her smile drops. I'll be going back to Scotland for a week or two soon. Is that why we had to reschedule Hanako's birthday party? She gives an affirmative nod. You'll be able to see your family again, at least. You're not looking forward to it? I haven't met my family in 6 years. I don't even know how to act around them anymore. Wait, what? My mouth hangs open as I try to process what she said. If she's 18, that means she'd have been only 12 when they left. I may have seen very little of my parents what with them both working long hours, but I feel utterly useless as I struggle to find some way to respond. But why? Why did they leave, or why are they inviting Akari and me back? Both, I suppose. My father's business has its headquarters in Scotland, and an exclusive position became available for him there. In the end, he had to move permanently. My mother followed him, but Akari and I stayed in Japan for the sake of both Akari's job within the Japanese branch of my father's company and my education. As for the latter, one of my aunts is gravely sick. I'm sorry. Don't be. It feels strange, really. We're being summoned there for her, yet we've barely met before. I can't even remember the sound of her voice. Equally strange is the total lack of antipathy she feels towards her family for doing such a thing. I can't help feel slightly humbled. That said, her wistful exterior is just hiding her emotions. Seeing her like this is depressing. Knowing what to do, I lift myself off the bed. Lily noticed the bed's movements. Her head perks up, and her hand reached sideways to feel where I was. Hisao? I walk over to my bag, still leaning against the wall, unbuckling the front flap and retrieving the opaque bag from within. I take the small plain box in my hands. Hold your hand out, Lily. Hold your hands out, Lily. She looked surprised for a moment, but eventually, whatever. It's the box. I'm amused by her look of curiosity when I place the box into her open palms. Her typically delicate way of handling it makes it seem as if it were fragile enough to break if breathed on. She wordlessly brings it in front of her face. Her slender fingers feel out its contours and patterning. Eventually, her fingers find the recessed line between the lid and body of the box, and her thumbs effortlessly pop open the lid. I take a seat on the bed next to her, watching her face silently and attentively. She sits completely motionless as she listens to a tiny melody, her mouth just slightly open. Okay. It takes a long while before she closes the lid with a small snap, bringing the curtain down on the miniature performance playing in her hands. The smile on her face and wistful shows that I made the right decision. Think of it as a going away present for your trip to Scotland. I will. A restless shuffling can be heard from the floor in front of us, the sound having woken Hanako. She climbs out of the blankets I put over her, looking befuddled and wiping the sleep from her eyes. I see you're finally up. What? Hanako looks around the room with her eyes only half open, her mind far from being as awake as her body. Her dazed state makes me and Lily chuckle. As Lily gets off the bed and tends to Hanako, I take one last look around the room. I guess I'd better get going then. There'll be questions if I am seen leaving the girls' dormitory in the morning. Goodbye, Hisao. Oh, goodbye. I stand and walk to the door, picking up my somewhat lighter bag along the way. After I leave the room, I enter the hallway, though I hear Lily's footsteps behind me. What's wrong? Without a word, she strides up to me. I freeze as I feel her hand slide onto my cheek, seemingly every nerve taking in the feeling of her fingers and palms upon it. Immediately after, her face slowly moves next to mine. A light momentary touch of her lips rests against my other cheek. For a moment, everything seems to stand still. I absent-mindedly bring my fingers to my cheek as if to try and recapture the fleeting feeling. Lily? That's my thank you, Hisao. Thank you? For your present. Have a nice day in school. With that, she disappears behind her door and gently closes it. The muffled voices of her and Hanako audibly through it, much as they were yesterday night. I think I'd be hard pressed not to have a nice day after that. I walk away with a certain spring to my step. I think there was some people around that glanced at me emerging from the girls' dormitory building, but I find it difficult to care. Wow. that was nice. What's next? What's going to happen next? I open my eyes to see the two grinning at each other while exchanging an enthusiastic thumbs up. Si-chan says she forgives you now, Hee-chan. Could you forgive me with a little less force next time? Wahahaha! I look at the two with a blank face. Misha and Shizune. One, Hisao. No. Okay. On Shizune... Oh, Shizune also says that you should check your student mail more often. She produces a bright yellow envelope and hands it... okay. Strange. Who could have written me a letter? Now is not the time, and most definitely not the place to find out, though. Giving up on the nap so cruelly stolen from me, I rub my forehead and slowly get up, putting the sheets and envelope in my bag before swinging it over my shoulder. I take a step back and move to the part from a small bow, while Misha clutches her sides, laughing, and Shizune nods back in a curt farewell. I join the flow of students, exiting the open door, and turn the corner into the hallway. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna end the video there. Okay, let me save real quick. New save. I'm gonna end the video there. I'm still mad that I have not gotten another choice yet, but this video was really eventful. I kind of ran out of time, but afterwards, I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna record another video today as well, so I can post it on Thursday of next week. I'm trying to finish this game, and I want to finish it quickly. So I can do when I get back. So technically, I'm not going on break. I'm going on break for making a video for a week, but I'm not going on break for having a video posted for a week. Just because today I'm just going to be making 2 videos for the week. But either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And of course, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out and bye-bye.